I'm Paige Humble, and I'm the Chief Executive Officer for Lung Cancer Initiative. And on behalf of all of us at LCI, it is my absolute pleasure to welcome all of you this evening. Tonight is all about you. You all carry out our mission in so many different ways every day. And tonight is a celebration of you and the impact that you make. So I hope you have a good time. You're going to hear some really interesting stories about advocates in different communities from across both North and South Carolina. And I just want you to think of connections that you'd like to make, because tonight's also about strengthening our network of hope and action. You all are our network of hope and action, and we want you to know each other and support each other, because we know together we can do so much more. So with that, I have your first to-do for tonight. So in case you don't know, on March 21st is the 20th annual Triangle Lunge Forward 5K event. This is the very first event that our organization did, and it's really how LCI was officially born. So if you haven't registered yet, this is your lucky day, because we have a discount for you tonight for being here. So if you want to scan the QR code and then use the coupon code JOIN20THFUN, you get $10 off just for today. So if you want to sign up now, feel free. Also, anytime during the program, it's triangle.lungeforward.org, and I'll show the QR code and the coupon code again at the end. I see somebody taking a picture. I'll give you a minute. The code is JOIN20THFUN. So as you came in tonight, I hope you saw all of our wonderful exhibitors. We cannot do events like this. We cannot carry out our mission without support from our amazing industry partners. And so thank you to each of these wonderful organizations up here. Thank you for supporting this event. Thank you for supporting our mission. We appreciate you. And so who is here? These are just a few numbers to give you an idea of who's in the room. It's hard to meet everyone, but we have 25 survivors who registered tonight, which is incredible. And we have 12 care partners who are also here to support our survivors. 15 providers and researchers. And then it's super cool because 35 cities are represented from across North Carolina, and 6 states are here in the room. So that's exciting. So as I said, tonight is a celebration of all of you. And it's also a celebration of all of these things. And the biggest thing we want you to walk away with is hope. Because there is so much hope in all that you all do and all that you all bring to the mission and to supporting people that are impacted by lung cancer. So I just have a few impact numbers here. You also have these in your programs. But I just wanted to celebrate that since 2008, Lung Cancer Initiative has supported 80 researchers. We have given out 5,150 gas cards, and we have provided $83,900 in patient emergency funds. And we have funded $4.2 million in lung cancer research, largely here in North Carolina. And this year alone, we have reached, in 2025, we reached 1,000 healthcare providers through our provider education programs. We gave out 100 patient emergency fund stipends and 500 gas cards to help patients access appropriate care and treatment. And last year, we funded $350,000 in lung cancer research. That's all incredibly exciting, but we know we have much, much more to do. And last year, we hit a milestone with the income that we raised to help make all that happen. We raised more than $1.7 million. And you see up here our very big goal for this year as well. And in a little bit, you're going to hear about our strategic plan and some of our big goals that we have over the next 3 years. And part of our plan is looking at how can we fund all this great work. So this is our goal for this year, and we're well on our way. But there's nobody better to speak to our mission, our vision, and where we're headed than our founder and our board chair, Amy C. Powell. And Amy's not able to be here with us this evening, but she wanted to send a special message to all of you. So now we're going to hear from Amy.
Good evening and welcome to our annual update and awards celebration. This is a momentous year as we celebrate 20 years since we began our coordinated advocacy efforts for lung cancer in North Carolina. In fact, on March 21st, we'll be celebrating the 20th anniversary of what is now our Pine Lunch Forward, and I hope you'll join me and the team there. Back in 2006, I met Sandy Bowler, Dr. Jennifer Garst, and a handful of others who were all determined, like me, to make a difference for all those impacted by lung cancer. At that time, there was truly nothing in our state to support patients, caregivers, researchers, and healthcare providers. And we had truly big ambitions to make a difference through research, education, and awareness. We knew immediately that we needed to grow our network beyond a handful of us, and we started engaging local cancer centers, industry partners, other healthcare providers, and advocates. Our first event in 2007 was amazing, and we exceeded our goals and expectations with over 800 people attending and raising nearly $90,000. We knew then that we were onto something, and there was a real need and, importantly, support for this very important cause. Since that time, we've experienced incredible growth and progress through support like yours. We're raising close to $2 million annually and have funded more than $4 million in research since our inception. We've grown our small grassroots base to over 25,000, including all of you here this evening, and I have no doubt that together we are truly making an impact. I'm incredibly grateful for all of you in the room this evening for allowing us to do this important work. I know many of you have been with us since that first 5K in 2007, and I'd particularly like to congratulate those who go above and beyond and are receiving special recognition here tonight for your volunteerism. Working with you all has been the most rewarding, humbling, positive experience of my career. As I'm sure you know, the board and staff have been hard at work over the past few months updating our 3-year strategic plan. We're very excited about this next phase of our organization, and we have some very ambitious but achievable goals and objectives, and we need all of your help to achieve them. Our Vice Chair, Jim Sheehoff, will be sharing more about this next. I'd like to end my remarks with a quote that has been our guiding mantra since our inception. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing it ever has. Thank you again from the bottom of my heart for showing up, for caring, and for advocating alongside us all these years. I hope you enjoy the evening and this celebration.
We are very fortunate to have Amy as our founder and board chair. We have amazing leaders, and so that's why it's my pleasure to also invite up Jim Sheehoff. He is our vice chair, and many of you in the room probably know Jim, and he is the definition of an ambassador and a lung cancer advocate.
Good evening, everyone. How are you doing so far? Pretty good? All right, super. Well, my role is to really talk about our mission initially. Many of you are intimate to making all of our goals a reality. And it all starts with that joint venture of how we advance survivorship, support, and really look at all aspects of lung cancer research, education, and access. And every year look at how do we do this better? How do we have a larger impact across the Carolinas? Our vision to improve life for all those affected by lung cancer, and our values, well, I think you feel it in this room. You can see there's always a generous hug, a welcome, an invitation to be a part of this community of hope. And that's the way it's been since I first had a cup of coffee with Amy about 9 years ago. It's really an organization that invites you again and again to become a better self, and the staff and the board are just incredible catalysts for that to happen. You know, this past year, we started in the early, I guess it was March of this past year, we looked at how can we keep all of the great things about LCI, but also reinvent and recreate, regenerate the spirit and the hope through a strategic plan. Amy came forward and said, you know, how are we reaching out to our constituents? And I asked her, who are our constituents? And it was a really long list. And then I was shocked by the number of focus groups that we had to organize from March all the way up until September to make sure we're getting the voice of everyone that had a part in making the array of this vision and this strategy come together. What came out of talking to industry experts, caretakers, providers all over the state, talking to survivor counseling support resources, and hearing what are we doing well and what could we do better. And we came back to our heart, our vision, our values, and where we want to go in achieving results. And these pillars came a part of our strategic plan for the coming 3 years. Research, the heart of this organization. Creating hope means a heavy investment in tomorrow's solutions and ideas. We're fully committed to funding investment up to 40% of our income each year and diversify our research funding opportunities as we move forward. Mission delivery, continue to provide expanded programmatic offerings that fill the unmet needs of our community. And that was largely behind our focus groups, literally hundreds of ideas about how we could expand how we're reaching individuals from the general practitioner's office to having every office, every practice facility in this state mentioning LCI before you walk out the door. How do you make sure you're reaching, making people aware of this fabulous organization? And that's the first step towards building our constituency even further. Awareness and reach, grow our constituent contacts, primarily in North Carolina and South Carolina, by 50% by 2028. I can't tell you how proud I am of that number, because when we first made our reaches into South Carolina, something called a pandemic showed up on our doorstep. And we decided we have to be patient and wait for all things. And this is an event that we have to wait till the right timing. And now it's here. So we're taking that opportunity forward. And I can't tell you how proud I am. My family's actually from the Charleston area of South Carolina. It's just wonderful to see this program and these community outreach going to South Carolina, where my family originally came from. Finance, you can't do any of this without really hearty financing. And to look at income growth each year by 10%, and with 75% or more directly going to supporting our mission, that's what keeps putting us to the highest level as a nonprofit being evaluated by outside national standards. And we land there every year, and it's no accident. It's the discipline of what is going on by our staff, it's our board, and it's really looking at how do we keep on focus with our mission. Infrastructure, you've probably heard, the ambassador program is turning this organization upside down. If you want to find leadership, invert the pyramid, not top down, but bottom up. And so we're hearing from so many metro areas, from rural areas, so that we're hearing what are the voices of rural North Carolina and the needs. You saw the gas card programs, how effective they've been at getting people to world-class research. If you don't have the money to get gas in your tank, then you're not going to get there with the solutions. We're really looking at how we hear from all the reaches of North Carolina, and we hear that and then begin building and regenerating the solutions out of Raleigh, North Carolina, where we have an enormous staff and resources. Well, here's the superheroes list. They don't have capes, but by God, they sure do fly. These people make it all happen. And there's just so many aspects of this, from Cheryl, who does a phenomenal job with Survivors Liaison, events that are still the heartland of this organization, to there's Lynn with the wonderful thing she does with finance, to looking at the leadership of Paige and Jenny. They just keep us right on the mark, and I think it's really the glue of this organization. Coming back to Sandy, one of the original founders, with Amy, to say, what is this all about, and are we on the right course? I love it because all of these leaders are willing to stop and say, what could we be? How could we be better? How do we actually expand where we are today? Well, here's my colleagues. They're a wonderful group. We're diverse. We have people from so many backgrounds. I'm so educated by the researchers and the practitioners, the providers on this board. And then we have great leaders out of business and finance, and we're all advocates for the same thing, for this mission, and we are constantly learning how can we be of support to make the mission really manage the final mile. You know, there's the future, but there's also memories of who we've lost and we continue to fight for. In many ways, that's why I'm here. I lost a dear friend to lung cancer, and I really didn't know how to respect his life and honor it until I found LCI. So it is about remembering, it's memory, and it's also saying the future is bright and we can provide a better future tomorrow. So I'd like to take a moment to honor those that we've lost in 25 and 26, and all those that are in our hearts today. Can we take a moment of silence and just give our regards in memory of these wonderful individuals? Thank you. Well, who better to follow me than Sandy Oler? She's our advocate. She is the person that through the years has brought all of the joy and the delivery of LCI's vision. She's the Senior Director of Strategic Partnerships. Sandy, can you come on up?
Thank you, Jim. And so while Sandy's not able to be with us this evening, she has a special message that she would like to share in honoring two different groups that really make a difference here at Lung Cancer Initiative.
Hi, I'm Sandy. They say it takes a village, and tonight we celebrate some of our most extraordinary members of ours. LCI's Ambassador Program launched in November of 2025, and last week we held our very diverse orientation. Our 20 ambassadors are leaders in sponsorship, networking, and supporting local fundraising initiatives. They help expand LCI's impact across North Carolina and South Carolina. LCI's ambassadors connect the community, share vital information about LCI programs, and inspire others to support those affected by lung cancer. Being an ambassador is an honor, a reflection of their dedication and past contributions. It is my absolute pleasure to recognize this amazing group tonight. If you're an ambassador, would you please stand? But I hope you feel my warm embrace and appreciation and excitement for what we're going to do together. Next, it's my honor to recognize the members of the Giving Hope Society. This is a remarkable community of 153 families who provide leadership level support to Lung Cancer Initiative each year. Leadership giving begins at $1,000 annually, and these donors are making a real, measurable difference in the lives of those affected by lung cancer. By being part of a dedicated circle, they are driving real progress and inspiring real hope for those affected by lung cancer. Would all members of the Giving Hope Society please stand so we can recognize and celebrate you. Generosity truly give hope to so many, and we are deeply gratified for all that you do for us. Thank you.
Thank you again to those two amazing groups. We really appreciate your support. And so tonight's awards are going to be given among you. You all are going to present the awards to each other. And it is my pleasure to introduce our first presenter, who happens to also be an LCI ambassador, Tom Kleineck. And he was last year's Committee Member of the Year as well.
So Jim and Paige, you're great leaders, and you're great examples of kindness, and this world needs more kindness. Whenever I think about you and Jim, I always think about the niceness and the kindness that comes from both of you. And there's not a better person in this world than Sandy. I wish that she was here. But if I could, I want to share a quote from Gandhi. I think it sets the stage, and you actually saw the word up there on the screen. It's that word change. So Gandhi many years ago said, "Be the change that you wish to see in this world." This person that I'm going to present is that change. She's a great example of it. And the Lung Cancer Initiative needs more of it. If you think about the mission that they have, it's a strong one. And I'm glad that we have this person on our team. I'm going to read about the award and also about this person. So this award recognizes the time, energy, and support given by a committee member who is exceptionally dedicated to supporting the mission of the committee on which they serve. This year's Committee Member of the Year has shown the dedication of leadership on the Charlotte Lunge Forward 5K Committee. Last year, she was instrumental in redesigning the race route into a more user-friendly, accessible, safe course. She has a great heart for lung cancer and survivors, and coordinated the creation of a beautiful glass beverage cup for survivors' gift bags. Her volunteerism extends beyond herself, and she recruited family members and friends to serve with her. She also helped manage golf carts and assisted with course operations to ensure the event ran smoothly. It is my pleasure to announce Allison Dyer as a Committee Member of the Year.
Did you have a bigger screen? I have to put my readers on. Thank you, Tom. Thank you.
Actually, I
Paige.
had a tough time with the readers and the light. I was like, oh, wow. I'm not
Oh, the
gonna read
readers
this
and the
well.
light. Okay, good. Well, I don't love public speaking. I've got a loud mouth, but I don't like talking in crowds. So I'm gonna read off of my phone here, and hopefully I can read it. I did want to say thank you. This honor is incredibly meaningful to me, but I truly see this award as a reflection of the community behind the work. So all of you here in this room tonight, the real accolades belong to the organization and the patients and families who inspire it every day. I've simply just had the privilege of being a part of this group of people who are deeply committed to making a difference, and that privilege is the true reward for me. I've been involved with the Lung Cancer Initiative for almost 10 years on the Lunge Forward Committee for Charlotte. I have a terrible memory for dates, so the exact timeline is a bit of a blur, but I first came here through a colleague that I used to work with in clinical trials. When I walked into my very first committee meeting, I was greeted at the door by one of my former nursing instructors, Caroline Risley. I didn't know at the time, but she was a lung cancer survivor. As the years went on, my involvement grew, and they just haven't been able to get rid of me quite yet. Caroline later recruited me actually to work with her oncologist when his nurse was leaving, and I found myself in the thoracic clinic in Charlotte caring for the very patients this organization supports. I had the privilege of caring for Caroline up to her last days. Through this work, I've formed a lasting relationship with colleagues, patients, Sharon, and families, many of whom have become close friends. And I've also lost some close friends like Caroline along the way. I've seen firsthand how this organization impacts our community, from gas cards to research funding for our organization, for research funding for our fellows, to our survivorship programs. What this organization does matters. How we advocate for progress matters. For patients facing lung cancer, progress is not abstract. It's urgent. And organizations like this ensure that patients and families never have to face this disease alone. So while I'm honored to stand here tonight, I want to thank you for allowing me to be a part of something so meaningful. I'm grateful and I'm inspired, and I look forward to all the work that we will continue to do together. Thank you.
Congratulations, Allison. So Jim mentioned our amazing staff, and I feel so privileged to be able to work alongside such an amazing team. And so it's my pleasure to now invite one of our team members up front to talk to you about a newer program you've been hearing about, Screening Saves. Macy McFarland joined us last September. It feels like she's been here for years because she has hit the ground running, and we're so excited to have her on board, and I'm excited to introduce her to you all and let her share more about Screening Saves.
Well, good evening, and if I haven't had the chance to meet you yet, I cannot wait to have that opportunity. Like Paige said, my name is Macy McFarland. I am a newer team member of LCI, and my goodness, I wish I had known about LCI and started working here right after I finished college, if only. But I'm grateful to be here and to serve this community and this mission, and it's truly an honor and a privilege. And as I share this, I just want to point out that all of this comes from collaboration and partnership and the incredible support of you all in this room and our board and my teammates. So we had a big year in 2025, and I should say, you know, a lot of people in this room know this, but when lung cancer is detected early, especially when it's localized to the lung, the 5-year survival rate is 63%. Compared to 12% when it's found once it's spread beyond the lungs and the lymph nodes. So early detection matters. Screening saves lives, and that is why we are doing this work. So in 2025, we officially launched our first pilot with ECU Health. We had such a big year, and one of our incredible, really vital pieces of our partnership, Jennifer Giordano, is here tonight, and we are just so grateful for ECU's partnership. In 2025, we engaged with over 1,000 community members in person, handing them Lung Cancer Initiative materials and the qualifications for screening. Having that conversation, if someone qualifies for screening, how to find screening, and then also handing them Lung Cancer Initiative materials in case they have a connection. We also engaged with 289 providers, meaning that we engaged with healthcare providers and had the discussion of why screening matters. How do you talk to your patients about screening? How do you code for reimbursement? Different things in that realm. And we activated our Navigator network actually in 2024, but in 2025, we had 158 nurse navigators who work with lung screening patients, attend 4 meetings. We meet quarterly. We have 3 virtual and 1 in person, and we had 158 attend throughout 2025. We're excited to keep that rolling in 2026. This is still some highlights of our 2025. So part of Screening Saves, it's a multi-pronged approach of provider education, patient education, and a community awareness campaign. And through our community awareness campaign, which included a billboard, we reached over 22,000 individuals in the state. With that, meaning they engaged with the lung screening education. So they clicked on the link, they liked it, they commented, or they shared via social media, which is incredible. And from our social media experts guiding this force, we've heard that those are some really incredible numbers from just June through December. In November of 25, we launched 2 billboards, and if you live in Eastern North Carolina, I hope you've seen them, and if not, you should go search for them. But that was a very exciting move for us. And I feel like one of the biggest wins and one of the things that we should celebrate we have been graced with the opportunity to receive and share data with ECU Health through our pilot partnership. And from fiscal year 24 to fiscal year 25, throughout the ECU Health system, they saw a 9.3% increase in screening rates throughout the entire system. Yeah. Like I said, those numbers matter. We need people who qualify to be screened, and we are very excited to continue to see that number grow into the next few years. And what is so important is looking ahead to what we have coming and to be excited about that. In 2026, we will be presenting our Screening Saves framework and our ECU pilot data at multiple conferences and symposiums. We will be launching the very first lung screening specific Project Echo in partnership with the American Cancer Society. That is a nationwide provider education opportunity. It's an incredible opportunity for us. We will be continuing our partnership with ECU Health through provider outreach, community, and awareness in Eastern North Carolina. And we also will be launching our next pilot location. Hopefully, I cannot say anything, but it is exciting, and hopefully later this year you will hear about that. And we are planning to publish officially our ECU pilot data. So we have a lot of very big things coming in 26. We are going to continue the work to ensure that all North Carolinians, South Carolinians as well, if they qualify for screening, that they're being screened. So thank you all so much. I'm so grateful for everyone in this room and your continued support. And we are just going to continue to do this work.
So the healthcare professionals that are in our network enable us to do a lot of what Macy's talking about, to be able to provide the education in communities across North and South Carolina, but also to other providers. And so it is our pleasure to be able to honor one healthcare professional this evening. And we thought it very fitting that Jennifer Tenover, last year's Healthcare Professional of the Year, come and present the award. So Jennifer, I will turn it over to you. There you are. Hit the green arrow when you're ready.
Okay, this award recognizes a healthcare professional that goes above and beyond in the effort to support and provide patient-centered care to lung cancer survivors. The award is named in honor of Dr. Jennifer Garst, who welcomed me to North Carolina 20 years ago, brought me to this meeting that I didn't know where I was going for, and it was one of the initial meetings for LCI 20 years ago. So she's one of the founding LCI members and our board chair emeritus, who embodies all that this award stands for. This year's recipient has been a true leader and partner in LCI's Screening Saves program. She goes above and beyond to educate, support, and advocate for individuals who are impacted by lung cancer. She hosts monthly low-dose CT scan clinics for patients who qualify for screening, but maybe are underinsured or have no insurance at all, which helps reduce those barriers to getting to early detection. She's actively sought opportunities to share Screening Saves educational materials to underserved communities, and consistently partners with LCI to expand access to lung cancer screening resources and education. It's my pleasure to announce as this year's Healthcare Professional of the Year, Jennifer Giordano.
Got my readers too, and they're clear, like Allison's. Good evening, everyone. Before I begin, I have to share a quick funny moment with you. When I first got the email about this award, I was out of town and headed for warmer weather with my daughters. And I really try not to read my work email when I'm off, but you know how it is, sometimes it just pops up. So I skimmed the message and I saw the name Jennifer Garst, and my first thought was, oh no, Paige sent this to the wrong Jennifer. And now I see there's another Jennifer in the equation too. Anyway, I almost closed it right there, but I took another look, a slower, more careful look, and realized that it was meant for me. And I was humbled all over again that someone thought that this Jennifer was worthy enough for such an honor. So I thank you for that little heart-stopping moment that became a huge blessing. Again, I'm deeply honored to receive the Lung Cancer Initiative's Jennifer Garst Healthcare Professional of the Year Award. And this recognition means so much to me, not only because of the mission behind it, but because it comes from an organization that I admire tremendously. As outreach coordinator for ECU Health Cancer Care, it has been a privilege to support patient-centered care and expand access to lung cancer screening across Eastern North Carolina. Over the last year, I have had the blessing of being one half of Screening Saves pilot, and this is the partnership between ECU Health Cancer Care and the Lung Cancer Initiative. And let me tell you, having Macy McFarland as my partner in this work has been a joy. Where is Macy? There she is. Together we brainstormed, strategized, problem solved, and found ways to make this work not only meaningful, but genuinely fun. That combination is rare, and I'm grateful for it every day. I've reached the age where moments of life start feeling full circle, and tonight is one of those moments. I've had 51 years of loving my dad. He raised me and my brother as a single father. He's a skilled heavy equipment operator. He can play any instrument by ear. He paints beautifully, can grow anything, and is by far the wisest person I know. And he smokes. He has smoked since he was 12 years old, and because of that, he is also a 2-time lung cancer survivor. People sometimes assume that there should be shame in that, and there isn't. Do I wish he didn't smoke? Of course. But do I think he or anyone else deserves less access to early detection because of that choice? Absolutely not. My dad is so much more than a smoker, and tonight I would like to dedicate this award to him. Being able to spread the life-giving message of early detection through lung cancer screening, to me, is like giving daughters more time with their dads. And I don't know of anything more meaningful than that. He's 79 today, and he doesn't travel too far from Beaufort County, or else he'd be here. I wish I could stand here and tell you that he quit smoking, but I can't. But I can say that I don't love him any less, and I never will. Thank you to the Lung Cancer Initiative for this honor, for believing in the power of outreach, and for partnering with us to save lives. Thank you to my colleagues, to Macy, and to everyone who works each day to make early detection possible for the people of North Carolina. Thank you.
Congratulations, Jennifer. So next is my absolute pleasure to invite someone that many of you know, I'm sure. She is another one of our fabulous leaders on our board of directors. She's a past Impact Award winner, a past committee chair, and a leader of many different things. So without further ado, it's my pleasure to turn it over to Emily Parks to present our Impact Award.
Good evening, everybody. How are y'all? So when I learned that I was going to speak about the Impact Award, I immediately went on to online to see, okay, so what are other words for impact? So influence, effect, consequence, result, impression, repercussion. Well, then we go into like collision, shock, smash. Well, there might be some of that involved too, but I digress. It is truly an honor to be able to present this award to someone who I feel is a kindred spirit in this battle, and who feels just as passionately as I do about the importance of education, because all those great research breakthroughs don't matter if nobody knows about them and can take advantage of them. And like I do, she loves to share information online to help highlight the real facts behind lung cancer, because there's a lot of scary information online. And so we kind of take it as our duty and privilege to be able to help illuminate people on the hope and the excitement and the things that are happening that are great right here throughout Lung Cancer Initiative. This year's Impact Awardee's dedication to Lung Cancer Initiative is rooted in her personal journey as a caregiver to her husband, who is a lung cancer survivor. For 9 years, she has joyfully and sometimes nudging others along the way, served as chair of the Evening of Hope Gala, providing steady but passionate leadership. She has helped to raise over $1.2 million during her tenure. Way to go. Her collaborative spirit, her contagious positivity, her creativity have transformed the event into one of the organization's most impactful annual fundraisers. In fact, this past year's celebration, with the wonderful theme of Boots and Bling, shattered fundraising numbers and welcomed the event into a brand new venue. But I think that it's important to note that the impact doesn't end with the fundraising. The impact that this awardee brings to the evening is the experience. From the music, to the decor, to the flow of the program, to the people in the room, to what you're wearing, how you're feeling, what you smell, what you taste. It's the overall experience. Maybe that's what makes people give more money, but I digress. This powerhouse is focused on results from both a fundraising standpoint and an experience standpoint. I really believe that impact reflects not only her vision, but her tireless work ethic and her ability to inspire others. Remember that contagious energy I was talking about before? Her positivity just lights up the room. And she's able to really get other people to rally around her to support the cause. She is a true champion for not only survivors, but also those of us who fill that caregiver role and the whole Lung Cancer Initiative community. She embodies the heart of the Impact Award through 3 very important things: her generosity, her leadership, her unwavering commitment, all focused in her heart. So please join me in recognizing Angela Nicholson as this year's recipient of the Lung Cancer Initiative Impact Award.
My goodness. That feels like a lot to live up to. I did jot down some thoughts because anybody that's ever had a conversation with me knows there's a lot of chaos going out in there. Maybe that's the energy that's going out. I don't know. But I do just want to thank everybody for this recognition. I am so humbled. Being a part of this tapestry that is one day going to tell an incredible story about what is being done here is such an honor. One thing that I notice anytime that I'm at an event with LCI is this one powerful truth, that no one comes to the Lung Cancer Initiative by accident. So whether you're here as a survivor or a clinician, a caregiver, an advocate, a friend, family, whatever has brought you into the fold, we are all bound by this common thread of resilience.
And that is what really drives us, and are all so focused on the mission. And you've heard that thread throughout anybody that has spoken tonight. When Brian and I were first connected with LCI in 2014, we were looking for a lifeline. But what we found was a community that quickly became family. We found people that speak a shared language of hope and a passion to fight this cancer with laser focus. I have always struggled with asking for help. It is definitely something that I am not gifted with naturally. But my mom sat me down after our first was born and very gently advised that I needed to be more accepting of what could be accomplished if I let others be a part of the lift. From then on, I have actually tried, even though it doesn't always come across, to be cognizant of a shared responsibility. And I have definitely learned that we are stronger when we carry that weight together. As a community, we have turned that shared weight into a momentum. We've turned our grief into advocacy and our questions into research. But more importantly, we have taken our hope and made it into a movement that refuses to be silenced. Thank you to LCI, to everyone here, and thanking you for continuing to serve and fuel that force that drives us to change the narrative of this disease and towards a world that will one day no longer have lung cancer as a topic of conversation. Thank you so much.
Congratulations, Angela. And I keep talking about this amazing team we have, and I get the pleasure of inviting yet another person up here who has just been such a huge part of the growth of our survivorship programming and the way that we serve the families that are a part of our network. And even more than that, she's just an amazing person. So it is now my pleasure to turn it over to Cheryl LaCroix, our survivor liaison.
I get the privilege of walking beside some beautiful survivors, many of whom I see in the room, and every time I see a face, a smile, there's a shared memory and a hope and this resilience that I just love being a part of. So thank you for letting me stand beside you, and I would love to take this opportunity to have the survivors in the room stand so that we can celebrate you. I would also love to take this opportunity to have your care partners stand. So if you're here in support of a beautiful survivor, please stand. Thank you so much for what you do for the survivors in the room. And as part of kind of our expansion and the strategic plan, we do plan to offer more for the care partners in the room. And with a poll and a couple of conversations from care partners, we have lovingly deemed the word rock stars. So don't be surprised if you get referred to as a rock star in the room, okay? And we just want you to say thank you. Yes. This slide kind of shows how we welcome a survivor into the network of LCI. And so once a survivor is connected to LCI, and it could be through a physician, through a family member, a self-search, then they get connected to me. And it can be one of two ways, in many, many ways that we serve survivors. But some survivors want a deeper connection. Some survivors might need immediate needs taken care of, such as gas cards, the patient emergency fund. But the survivors that want connection, we serve that with the depth of some of our programming as well. And so I love to say that we meet survivors where they are, when they are, and what they need when they need it. So some survivors will come and say, you know, I would like to join a wellness retreat. I'm looking at a table here full of beautiful memories of a wellness retreat. And so those programs are really intentionally designed with wellness and connection. And it's just a beautiful thing to see, you know, when people come together at that level and that intimacy with another group of people. I had recently a woman who called me who said, you know, I've been a part of your newsletter for about 6 months. And I thought, oh no, how did I not talk to you? You know, because when you come to the LCI website and you sign up as a survivor, you have the option to check, I'd like to have a call from our survivor liaison. And I try to get in touch with everyone between 24 and 48 hours once they say, yes, I'd like to have a connection. And so I said to her, I said, you know, did I not call you? And she goes, no, I didn't put my number. I wasn't ready to talk to you. But now I am. And so it's a really message for me to remember to meet survivors where they are. And she's now a lovely part of a lot of our programming and other things that we offer. And you'll see here also, you know, the family, the care partners, the children. We are bringing more and more programming to support the whole family. And so this just represents our commitment to you and beautiful photos and memories. What happens when survivors are together is bigger than any one of us in this room. There's incredible community, there's incredible connection, support, understanding, camaraderie. And so I really invite you, if you have somebody that you know that could use some support, send them to LCI. And our commitment to you is that we will welcome them with warmth and love and understanding. So thank you. I have the pleasure to bring up our Survivor of the Year from last year, Sonia Arusta. And she will present our Survivor of the Year for this year.
I want to introduce you to our Queen Bee. I've been a mess today, so I'm going to have to read as well. First of all, it's an honor to be here and to be part of this wonderful family, because I too received that call 5 and a half years ago from Cheryl at a previous life, which was Wind River. And we've been attached to the hip ever since. But this award is very special to me and to many of the survivors in this room. We're not just surviving, we are thriving. And one of the themes for this year is that not only are we survivors, but we need to be us, be you. So we welcome you, if you can carry that theme for us throughout the rest of the year. So a few weeks ago, I received a text, and I had it on the screen, and it went away. And this beautiful lady, because she is beautiful, besides being a survivor, wrote to me, and she says, let me find it. Hi, love. I just found out that I've been selected as the LCI Survivor of the Year. And I, was extremely happy for her. And she continues in her text and says, "It's truly a delightful surprise. I'm thrilled to be walking in your footsteps, Sonia." You're not walking in my footsteps. You are making your own trail. And it's an honor for me to present this award to this very special lady. So I will read. The award recognizes someone who has been diagnosed with lung cancer and who used their journey to support others as a source of inspiration and hope. This year's recipient is often described as a ray of sunshine. Her smile is contagious, with an unwavering attitude of gratitude. She's a mentor and connector, often sending weekly texts, like the one I got, of encouragement to the LCI staff and other survivors. After attending the LCI retreat in 2024, she became the glue keeping 7 beautiful survivors connected in a strong community of support. She additionally shared her story at the 2025 LCI Advocacy Summit, where she inspired attendees and offered a message of hope to other survivors in the room. She continues to do that for me as well. It is my pleasure to announce not only the Survivor of the Year, but a great friend, mentor, and someone I look up to, Sharon Fall.
Thank you so much. This award was a total surprise to me and a delightful one. I look for delightful surprises every day, so thank you for this award. And Sonia, I love you so much, and your courageous journey and positive outlook inspires me every day, and it inspires everyone who knows your story, so thank you. 2023 was a year of high highs and low lows for me. It started out with very high. My brother is here tonight, and he just got back from Costa Rica, and he asked me, "Did you do the Superman on the zip line tour?" And I said, "Yeah." So I started out zip lining in the jungles of Costa Rica. Then I celebrated my birthday with friends in Naples, Florida, and I was swimming in Florida. And then in May, I was hiking in one of the most beautiful places on earth, Antelope Canyon, Arizona. On all of those trips, I had an annoying, tickling cough that I just couldn't get rid of. But at the end of May, when I came home from Arizona, I had a virus. I got a virus, and it really took me down, but it intensified that cough by like 1,000,000 times. Here's the low of the year. In July, I was diagnosed with stage 4 non-small cell lung cancer with metastasis to the lymph, the bones, and probable involvement of the liver, the colon, and the right lung. Lung cancer for a never smoker lung cancer that brought a softball-sized tumor in the left lung, and then innumerable pulmonary nodules throughout. It was inoperable, incurable, and terminal. That for me was the lowest low in 2023. But then the pendulum swung back to another high, and I met my superhero, Dr. Daniel Hegstrom, who is my oncologist at Levine Cancer Center in Charlotte. And our previous award winner, Allison, was my nurse at that time. She's gone on to bigger and better things, but she was with me right from the beginning, and I will love you till the day I die, Allison. I hope that's a long time from now. But Dr. Hegstrom encouraged me not to give up, and we were at a low point in that meeting. Minutes after meeting me for the first time, he had to deliver the worst news of my life, and he's a straight shooter. But he did it lovingly, gently, kindly, slowly, and he encouraged me to do 2 tests. I was kind of done at that point, but he encouraged me and convinced my 2 best friends who are here with me tonight, who are my appointed healthcare advocates, to have this testing done. So I had a biopsy for the biomarker testing, and I had a brain MRI. The brain MRI came back clear, and the biomarker testing identified the mutation, EGFR late stage. And Dr. Hegstrom said to me in September, Sharon, I've got great news for you. There's a drug that has been designed to specifically target your exact mutation, and I think you're the perfect candidate for it. Shout out to the AstraZeneca reps in the room. This was my self-portrait that fateful day in 23. That big blob you see there, which I think it kind of looks like a sweet fish now, but that blob was that softball-sized tumor in the left lung, and the flecking was the innumerable nodules. You can't really see them as well in that image. Last week, I had a scan before I came, and this is what I look like now. Dr. Hegstrom says he believes that some of that remains is scar tissue in there, and he's not concerned with anything on that scan. This is what regaining and maintaining quality of life looks like, and I'm so grateful. How you think and feel directly affects how you heal. You have to find excellent medical care. And the great news is the Carolinas are filled with superheroes wearing white coats, many of them in this room tonight. But you also have to address the mental torment and emotional anguish, because if you get stuck in the stress, it's detrimental to your healing process. And that's where LCI comes into play, because LCI is here to support us. Specifically, our magnificent Queen Bee, the Survivor Advocate Liaison, Cheryl LaCour. We could stand here till the cows came home and tell you stories about the support that Cheryl has provided for us. She has the knowledge, she has the resources, and she has the biggest heart you ever saw to help support you on your journey. So if you are or you know of a lung cancer patient in the Carolinas, they need to meet that woman right there. What I'd like to do next to close is to just offer you some images, some visions of the many wonderful things that LCI has provided for me as a patient. And I must say that every single individual that I have met that is associated with LCI is instantly a heart connection. They're so giving, so loving. Jenny especially, she's my champion, but everybody in LCI is fabulous. Oops, sorry. How do I go back page? There we go. I got to attend that wellness retreat. It is at the glorious and beautiful Camp La-Di-Da, and our Camp La-Di-Da people are here tonight, Terry and David. That incredible experience, you leave from that weekend with a toolbox filled with how to deal with the stress of a cancer diagnosis, and also with bonds that connect us forever. This is my table of retreat survivors here, and we're bonded forever. We are instant, we call each other sisters. We are that because of this retreat. This retreat is rich, and I encourage any of you that can to go to that retreat. Next are the community education events. This is my Dr. Hegstrom and Allison here. LCI provides a number of education events throughout the year, all over both states. If you're like me, I didn't know a lot about cancer when I got this diagnosis, and I knew nothing about lung cancer. I thought you had to be a smoker, like Jennifer's dad, in order to get lung cancer. I had no idea that I could have a softball-sized tumor in the top of my left lung. But I've learned through LCI, if you have lungs, you have an opportunity to have lung cancer. So these education events that they provide are rich with information. Knowledge is power. And then there are fun days. The Survivor Celebration Day, monthly luncheons that Cheryl provides for us, both virtually and in person. And then sometimes we just get together socially and have fun. It's a cohesive group, the Survivor group, and it reminds us daily that we are not in this alone. We have each other. The annual education summit that they referenced earlier is the brightest and the best in the industry, and they're there to tell us the latest in the cutting edge technologies, the latest in the advances in lung cancer. I really encourage you to go to the summit. It was well worth the time. Then there's the Family Fun Day at Camp La-Di-Da. And interestingly enough, it's happening in 2 days. On Saturday, we'll be gathering again at Camp La-Di-Da, and it's not too late. You can still join us and just come and have fun. You will love Camp La-Di-Da. And then there's the Evening of Hope Gala. That is the culmination of the year. It's a time of celebration, fundraising. As my friend Liz taught me, LCI knows how to put the fun in fundraising. And so Angela, your work must have been really well. I didn't make it this year, but this was the year before. And I have to mention the beautiful blonde in the middle is the lady that Allison referenced earlier. That was our Caroline. I've recently been given the honor to be an ambassador for LCI. Our mission is to connect, to inspire, and to share, and I'm very honored to have that. Lastly, I'd like to leave you with some of the LCI opportunities that I haven't yet experienced and can't wait to. There is a series of wellness workshops that they have just put together that's based on the science of heart math. And for anyone that needs a tool to deal with stress, this is an incredible one. So if you haven't already signed up, I really encourage you to sign up for this series of workshops. There's the 5K events, the Lunge Forward. We've heard a lot about that. They're peppered out throughout both states. There's the Fall Golf Classic. I don't play golf, but Sandy Rowe and I could drive the drink cart. There's a remembrance of those that have completed their cancer journey. And then there is a poker tournament, which I understand is lots of fun too. So thank you for this marvelous award. Thank you for all you have done for me, LCI, and together we make a difference.
Well, that's going to be hard to top. And I have to say, I love when I get an email from Sharon. They are the most uplifting, inspirational emails. And I just love getting her messages. And she inspires all of us in the LCI office every day. So, Sharon, thank you for sharing your story with us, and congratulations. It's now my pleasure to introduce yet another wonderful leader that we have on our Scientific Advisory Committee and on our Board of Directors, Dr. Catherine Milam, who's going to talk about our research programs.
Impossible to follow. And certainly, I'm just reminded as to why I'm up here. And for all the researchers in the room, our job is to expand the hive. I also noticed, I think, Sonia, Jim, and Paige may be the only people not wearing readers up on the podium. If I miss someone who can still see, my apologies. So it truly is an honor to me to be a part of this organization and for so long. My role tonight is to really recognize all the fantastic research that is happening within the Lung Cancer Initiative. So I'd first like to ask all of the healthcare providers who are here in the room to stand up. You deserve a huge round of applause. So please take a minute. So these are tremendous people, and some of the things that we do as physicians and other healthcare providers within Lung Cancer Initiative is not just research, but we are educating. You've seen some of the activities where we speak and really try and provide updates, not only for other physicians in our region, but also to families, patients, so that they can stay abreast of updated information. We do have leadership roles and opportunities in so many different facets of Lung Cancer Initiative, as well as just mentorship and volunteerism. So it does give us as physicians an opportunity to collaborate with our community, and it's really, for me, been an incredible way to dive deeper, really to feel more. I know that's hard for, seems, how can I feel more? I'm such a feeler anyway. But I think it's really been very impactful to see just how strong this community is. You've certainly heard that tonight. I will say, from a research perspective, one of the things that has been so impactful for me is the opportunity to see what my peers are doing within the state and within the region to form collaborations. And from a patient perspective, it's been a gift for me to be able to say, I'd like you to have a second opinion with so-and-so, or maybe they've already seen somebody at another institution, and because of regionality, I might be closer. And I can reassure them, we are not competitors, we are colleagues. We know each other as friends through Lung Cancer Initiative, and that is how we formed our relationship. We had a relationship through Lung Cancer Initiative before we were your physician or involved in your care. And I think for me, that's where there's been a lot of growth in patient trust, as well as collaboration with my colleagues across the states. So with that, I am going to talk about some of the incredible impacts that we have done through research in lung cancer initiatives. So some of these numbers you heard at the beginning of the evening. So just last year, $350,000 were awarded to 7 researchers. It's an incredible amount of money. We recognize that funding is becoming more and more challenging to achieve. And honestly, to be awarded, it's becoming more and more competitive. So a tremendous amount of just encouragement for these 7 research to receive these funds. So in the annually, what we do issue, or you'll see 4 different areas there. The Research Fellows Program, and when I say fellows, it can be a little bit more broad. It can be somebody who's early in their career, or somebody who's still in their fellowship and seeking mentorship or has a great idea. And then the Career Development Award, which is a little bit more advanced. Innovations in lung cancer research, so something very specific, like we want to really be thoughtful, like how can we think outside of the box? And then we've been very fortunate over the past few years to partner with Longevity Foundation, and we continue to do that. So through the years, this has led to 80 researchers funded to date. And it's an incredible number. Lung Cancer Initiative should be and is very proud of this footprint. A lot of times what we're doing is we're focused on early career research where maybe you may not have a portfolio that will allow for larger grants to get funded. Some of this may be pilot funding, and really helps our doctors who are passionate about lung cancer to pursue it, receive that funding, and we support them through mentorship throughout that. It also provides them that publication or presentation for which Lung Cancer Initiative will get recognized as a part of that, so that grows our footprint. And then it spearheads that next research project. And so we're able to follow these 80 researchers that we've funded over the years and see where their career has taken them and where that initial grant that Lung Cancer Initiative has provided grows into something bigger on a national and international level. We're expanding into MUSC in South Carolina, and so we're grateful for that opportunity to partner with our friends. And then, as I already mentioned, Longevity Foundation, and I just received an email the other day talking about updated grants that I'll have an opportunity to review and participate in for funding. So Jim mentioned our strategic plan at the beginning, and we have a commitment to continue to grow our impact, but I think an impressive $4.2 million invested into lung cancer research since 2008 is something to celebrate. So I am going to highlight some of our researchers. And not just tell you the title. I think it's important for us to understand these complicated words and terms. So I'm going to try and put it into context. A lot of time for people who know me, I like to really kind of use normal language rather than doctor language. But Dr. Jensen has been awarded the Career Development Award. He's from UNC. And has a big basketball game on Saturday. His project for which he's been awarded is attacking lung cancer non-canonical PRAME epitopes with artificial intelligence generated polypeptides. So obviously AI is being integrated across healthcare, just as it's being integrated across your cell phone. And we do need to be good stewards of it and learn how to utilize it. But PRAME is something that's certainly very interesting. It's something that more commonly is identified in melanomas and maybe leukemias, but we also see it rarely in NET carcinomas. It becomes a strong target for immunotherapy and in development of maybe some PRAME-directed therapies, really some novel T-cell-directed therapies. And so maybe people have heard about CAR T treatments and how to enhance the immune system. So congratulations to Dr. Jensen on this award. So now I'll mention the 2 recipients of the Innovation in Lung Cancer Research Award. Dr. Tom Lycan, also in the audience from Wake Forest, one of my colleagues. has a project Implement Lung, and this is a mixed methods creation of a patient registry for lung cancer biomarker profiling. We've already heard how important biomarker profiling is, but we really do need to take the time to create proper registries so that we can reflect on what we've learned, and really how do we maintain our understanding over time as our population grows and we have more and more biomarkers. I think what's interesting and people need to recognize is, for a lot of you who may have seen a biomarker report, there's a whole section called variants of unknown significance. They are only of unknown significance until we make them significant. And so the more testing and the more opportunity we take to understand them, we will then shift them up to the box that makes that important. So Dr. Lycan, great job. Dr. Oliver has a really interesting project here. So as a professor in pharmacology, also we be involved in that game on Saturday, not physically, but just emotionally and spiritually. Has a project titled Hillock-like cells as drivers of chemotherapy resistance in lung squamous cell carcinoma. So this is fascinating. Hillock is actually a descriptive term, so it's really meant to be a hill, right? So hillock, and these hillock cells look like mounds. They have like flat tops, mounds. They're located in the trachea and our airways, and kind of really represent an unappreciated reservoir of injury-resistant cells. And so there's concepts behind that this may be a source of proliferation and squamous metaplasia, which means overproduction, and may be connected to squamous cell carcinoma, which is really important. You know, a lot of what we've seen in advancements in biomarkers have been predominantly identified in our adenocarcinoma population. So a tremendous amount of opportunity for Dr. Oliver to kind of try and unwind the squamous cell type. So congratulations. I just cannot emphasize enough how novel these concepts are. These are your local oncologists and pharmacists who are doing this research, and we are honored to fund their ideas and concepts, just as we have been so pleased with these early faculty and fellow awards. We've talked about rock stars, we've talked about Superman, and certainly all these people fit into that. So I'd like to recognize Dr. Laura Alder, Dr. Abner Murray, Dr. Darian Davda, and Dr. Jenny O'Brien for having really novel and competitive ideas that are going to change the way we think about lung cancer. And finally, I think that this has been really a tremendous partnership. That Lung Cancer Initiative is not just our local regional team. We do thrive on our grassroots opportunities, and that remains very important. But we have a national footprint, and we are recognized in that space. And so we've been very fortunate to be invited by Longevity to partner with them in these career development grants. And so we are co-funding Dr. Esther Redden through our partnership with Longevity, and with this project, identification of epigenetic drivers of drug tolerance in EGFR mutated lung adenocarcinoma. I think this is really fascinating, and again, it's going to be a fantastic project. Epigenetic drivers. So what does that mean? And why is this important? When we talk about driver mutations in the EGFR space and targeting that, we've already heard that tonight. Sometimes when a medicine stops working, we'll see a mutation change, and we're able to identify that on a DNA or RNA level. But with epigenetic drivers, it's really kind of hidden, and so we can see that there are changes to the DNA in the tumor without changing the DNA sequence, and so it's often very quiet. And so we have to understand what we don't know And that's what this study is supporting. And then finally, Lung Cancer Initiative is also a partner with Lung Cancer Action Network, so LungCan. And we collaborate with their patients and caregivers, perceptions and challenge. This is a study providing a comprehensive assessment of the obstacles encountered both by patients and their care providers. So with that, I'll close and just say what an honor it is to be with everyone this evening.
Thank you so much, Dr. Milam. And it's now my pleasure to invite yet another wonderful board member to join us on the stage. He also happens to be a member of the Nicholson family who has already won an award this evening. And as I said, he's on our board of directors and also the chair of our finance committee. So I'll turn it over to Justin Brian Nicholson.
My goal is to get this thing like absurdly long to where it's comical. But as survivors, you know, we love the physicians that treat us. We love the nurses that administer for us. We love the volunteers and LCI and their staff that put on all of these events for us. And of course, we love the companies that are out there creating medicines and driving research, advancing our cause. However, one role stands above all these others. They take this journey with us, hand in hand, by our side the entire way. Of course, I'm talking about our caregivers. And so it's my honor to do the Caregiver of the Year Award. And this award is given in recognition of the compassion and devotion of someone who takes care of or has taken care of an individual diagnosed with lung cancer. This year's awardee has had a profound impact on our entire community through his unwavering support of his wife and his encouragement of all of the others affected by this disease. He has walked beside Judy throughout her entire journey and helped her move beyond the isolation that she felt initially after her diagnosis. You know, one of the words I heard earlier was not surviving, thriving, and I do believe that they embody and sort of live that out. He's modeled what compassionate, devoted caregiving looks like while fostering a sense of belonging and certainly encouragement for all of our other survivors. They do not like wallflowers. They are definitely a dynamo to be around. It's my pleasure to recognize Kurt Noble as this year's Caregiver of the Year. And unfortunately, Kurt's unable to be here tonight, which is highly ironic, as if you've seen all the pictures there and out there, that duo is in almost all of them. You never know which hair color you're going to get with Judy, but you certainly can count on her being present, and that goes for both of them. And so, yeah, that's my honor.
Good evening, everyone. First and foremost, I want to thank my wife, Judy. Her zeal in welcoming and supporting survivors is what calls me to action. Thank you to the Lung Cancer Initiative for the honor of this award, but more importantly, for the continuous work that Paige, Sandy, and all the organization's board members, staff, and volunteers do to make a difference. I think about my wife's original diagnosis in 2018. Highly aggressive treatment regimen with a 5-year survival rate of 15%. I think about her recurrences in 2021 and 2024. I think about how all we could do was put one foot in front of the other and fight to simply find a way to exist. I think about how isolated we were from human connection and anything remotely normal. I think about how completely ignorant I was about anything to do with lung cancer. And then I think about that day in 2021 when we nervously visited a Lunge Forward event that Judy had just learned about. Over the course of a few hours, we were drawn into a community of hope. I experienced the welcoming from LCI survivors and staff. I witnessed emotional support and the flow of tribal knowledge and educational information. We could feel the message of hope, and I saw the transformation in my life. That is what motivates and guides me. So I'm happy to support the survivor and caregiver community with my time and energy. Hopefully, I can help to lessen in some small way the sense of fear, isolation, and struggle as I strive to reach out with emotional support, informational connection, and perhaps some small moments of normalcy. I've been blessed to have met and connected with so many survivors and caregivers. Each and every one of you has inspired me and lifted me through those connections, no matter how minor, whether you know it or not. So to the survivors and their caregivers, keep fighting, keep learning, keep moving forward, and most importantly, have hope. Thank you.
It is now my pleasure to introduce the newest member of our staff, but she's definitely not new to LCI. She has long been an advocate and a volunteer, chairing the Charlotte Lunch Board for I don't even know how many years, many years. But we are so happy to have Rachel joining us now as a staff member, coordinating our events in the western part of the state. So Rachel, I will turn it over to you.
Good evening. I guess they saved the best for last. I won't be up here too long for everyone. So I know we've talked a lot today about fundraising and monies raised. I just want to give a quick overview of what our fundraising events brought in last year. So between all of our 5Ks, the Evening of Hope, the Golf Classic, the All-in-One Poker Tournament, the White Ribbon Regatta, and the Jody 5K, we brought in roughly $830,000 with 2,454 attendees. I think that's pretty awesome. Yes. And I'm here to talk about volunteers. I've been a volunteer with LCI 13 years, I think now. My father has stage 4 lung cancer, was diagnosed in January of 2014, passed on November 7th of 2014. I didn't know about Lung Cancer Initiative during his journey. I wish I had, maybe things would have been different for him, but as you see on the screen, we have about 15 different committees that represent LCI. All of them are comprised of volunteers. Some are healthcare professionals, some are public health advocates, some are just local advocates, but we couldn't pull off any of these events without all of our volunteers and the people who are willing to give their time so freely. 2025, we had 339 volunteers. Some came from office support at LCI, the 5Ks, annual meetings. We have interns from ECU, UNC, and NC State, and where are the interns tonight? Are they? I know Spencer is here. Oh, there you are, okay. One of our interns is present today. I wanna take a moment to recognize volunteers. So we've got all these different events. We've got the Triangle Lunch Board coming up on the 21st, so I'll make the plug for Juliet. If you haven't registered, please register. Right now, if you are a co-chair or a chair of any of the committees that we saw on the previous slide, would you please stand? If you are a volunteer in any capacity with LCI, would you please stand? We couldn't pull off the mission of LCI without all of you. You guys give tirelessly of your time, of your resources. I personally want to thank my I don't know, I have a few committee members here myself tonight, and you guys work really hard. And Allison, you are very deserving of the award that you got tonight. I'm very proud of you. So, ways that we need you guys to help. We need you to spread the word about LCI and ways that people can get involved. We've got committees, we've got health fairs, you can volunteer in the office, we've got marketing and development committees, internships, we've got this wonderful ambassadors program that is just being launched. And you know, they made mention of the meeting we had a few weeks ago, and it was really awesome. We had a lot of good energy, a lot of good ideas, and I'm really excited to see what this group of people is gonna do. We've got, you can donate for silent auctions at the gala, and you can just spread the word. Facebook, Instagram, you know, social media does wonders. Claire, where are you? Is she not in here? Okay. Claire is our social media guru. She's our marketing guru, and she's taught me a lot about how to best utilize what we have at our hands. So, you know, we've got all of our hashtags there. Share them with your friends, share them with your families. Talk to strangers when you're out and about. I've met a lot of people who have some connection to lung cancer just by having general conversations. So don't be afraid to just chat someone up. All right, and I guess, I'm not sure. Is this back to you? Okay, back to Paige.
Thank you, Rachel. And now I'm going to bring up a familiar face, Alanis Menezes, who helped launch LCI's Junior Volunteer Program. Alanis was our very first Junior Volunteer of the Year and has just been a continued instrumental volunteer throughout the organization. So I'll turn it over to you, Alanis.
Hello. Obviously I'm a little bit biased, but this is my favorite award. I think that this meeting is really cool because it really helps us step back and see the progress that LCI has made. Just to put it into perspective, I was born in 2007, the same year that LCI was born with that first triangle walk. And so in the time that it's taken me to get to my first year of college, LCI has gotten to all of us in the room and to thousands of people across the Carolinas. And so with that in mind, I think it's really important to focus on the future as well. So I think that this award does a really great job of that. I'm gonna read now my thing. I don't need readers just yet. Very proud of that. But this award recognizes the impact, dedication, and generosity of young adults who give their time freely to support the mission of the Lung Cancer Initiative and make a remarkable impact on the lung cancer community through their efforts. This year's recipient has volunteered with LCI since January 2024 and was an intern this past fall. She played a critical role in ensuring patients and families received timely support by stepping in to provide interim coverage between intern cycles for LCI's gas card and patient emergency fund programs. Her availability during these periods directly supported those impacted by lung cancer by providing continuity so that patients received assistance without delays. Her professionalism, consistency, and willingness to help strengthen patient support programs and trust within the lung cancer community. This year's Junior Volunteer of the Year is Kayla Wynn. Kayla is unable to attend tonight, but she does have a video to share with us. Oh, never mind, there's no video, but Kayla is wonderful. It's okay.
Thank you, Alanis. And we'll be sure to get Kayla her award. She continues to volunteer with us even after her internship is complete, so thank you. So it is my pleasure to now invite our last presenter up for the evening, Fred Gerke, who was last year's Volunteer of the Year, and who with every fiber of his being is a lung cancer advocate.
You know, first of all, I would like to thank everybody who's here for what they do for lung cancer, survivors, patients, you know, all of you. I know when my son was diagnosed, I was tear up again. It was 3 years ago, February, and shocked. And you know, my son is kind of like the type. He doesn't want to think about it. He doesn't come to the programs or anything like that. He just, just focuses on his life. So what I try to do then is do what I can do, which is very little other than help raise money, be a boot on the ground or whatever. And I guess that's what a volunteer really is. They're the boots on the ground. They're willing to help, put their finger in the dike, do whatever. I'm still looking for somebody who'll go with me to one of these big insurance companies and tire sales to the front door to get more money or to reduce the cost of cancer treatment for people. It's absurd that in a country as great as this country is, that a cancer diagnosis can be so economically detrimental to a person, a family. That's one more center block that you're trying to hold while you're treading water through the treatments. And I've seen it, and I'm sure you guys have seen it too. So thank goodness somebody has written something for me to read, because I did not prepare well, and I didn't bring my readers. I looked for them. I don't know where in the hell they are. I think the gentleman who is the caregiver of the year, I was going like, damn, those look exactly like my glasses. And glasses aren't cheap anymore, so I'm going to have to call them up, but here it goes. This award recognizes the impact, dedication, and generosity of someone who gives their time freely to support the mission of the Lung Cancer Initiative. This year's award winner began her journey with Lung Cancer Initiative as a volunteer at the Try and Lunge Forward 5K and Walk and Celebration, and quickly became an indispensable part of the team. Her dedication led her to join the event committee, where she played a vital role in spreading the word to local run clubs, securing donations, and supporting every aspect of the event, from setup and registration to breakdown. This past year, she also coordinated a media interview for the Triad Lunge, helping to amplify awareness of the cause. It is my pleasure to recognize Beth Dyson as this year's Volunteer of the Year. Congratulations. And I hope you have a beautiful speech.
Good evening. Well, I never thought I could get lung cancer. I'm a never smoker, former collegiate runner, and I try to live a pretty healthy lifestyle. When I was diagnosed, it rocked my world. But LCI was there for me. So I started volunteering at LCI to give back some of what I have received, and it did all start at the lunge. I don't think I even deserve this, because volunteering at LCI is very much a team effort. It has been an experience bigger than myself. If you are a survivor, physician, nurse, navigator, caregiver, drug rep, cancer researcher, board member, or volunteer whose journey has led you here, you also are a Volunteer of the Year for a team of people that bring hope and positivity to someone's world who has been devastated by this horrible disease. But now, the biggest reason I participate is I believe in the heart of this organization. No one with any experience in this journey would wish it on another. And instead of just saying, "Oh, I'm so sorry," LCI has taken action to help restore the peace and calm to those affected by it. I admire each one of you, because you help bring the peace, hope, and a new perspective on lives that need a light on their journey. We all have different strengths, whether it's helping with a lunge, serving through lunches, retreats, the gala, or any of the many other fun events, you all make a difference. Please know that I am so grateful for you, and praise be to God for the strength, courage, and the will of this group. Thank you.
Congratulations, Beth. And before I hang on just a second, I just want to say congratulations to Beth and to all of our award winners. Truly, you all are very, very special to our organization. And as Rachel said so well, also all of you volunteers are so special to our organization. We could not do what we do without you. So thank you from the very bottom of our hearts. And I have a few parting comments and reminders for you. First off, just a few save the dates up here. And there's one important save the date that Sharon mentioned. Our family day is actually this Saturday from 1 to 4 at Camp La Ti Da. You are all invited, so please let us know if you'd like to attend. We'll get you signed up. And then you can see all of our 5Ks happening around the state. Our advocacy summit's coming up in August. That's going to be in Raleigh this year. We have our Fall Golf Classic that's going to be happening at Lonnie Pool this year. And of course, our Evening of Hope, our second year at Angus Barn. So in your programs, there's a QR code. You've got the QR code here too, the links to our events calendar. Check those out. Let anybody on the team know if you have questions or if we can help get you signed up. But we really hope that we'll see you at some other events this year. Here's my other reminder. If you haven't signed up for the Triangle Lunch Board, $10 off. There's only about 15 minutes left. But we got the coupon code there, and we'd love to see you for our 20th anniversary of that 5K event. So with that, thank you so much for spending the evening with us. We are grateful for each and every one of you. And I just hope that I see you at an event soon. And I'm very, very excited for what we're going to do together this year. So thank you all. Have a wonderful evening.